Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and today I have my next update because I've lost count, so I'm not going to tell you what number we're on, but my next update for my year-long project pan. So this is in a rolling 10 pan style, and what that all means is that I have 10 products out of my makeup collection that I am focused on using up to completion this year. Now, anytime that I do empty a product, I roll another one in, so we constantly have 10 products going, and I tell you guys how many times I've used them, the weight differences, I show you pictures, graphics, all of that jazz, because that is what makes me feel happy with tracking in my collection. But we don't have any technical rollouts, but I feel like we might need some wink wink roll-ins. So if you want to see how I'm doing on my year-long project pan, stick around. I have all of my stuff in front of me and we're getting into it right now. So my FabFitFun video just went live, and in that video I have my longer hair still, and I have to say I am loving my shorter hair. I think that it brings my curls out better. I think that it just sits better like on my frame. So I am digging the shorter hair. I am very, very happy with how it has turned out. But let me go ahead and pull up my spreadsheets as one of my girlfriends is texting me and making me giggle. But let me go ahead and pull all of this up. Because like I said, we don't have any rollouts, but I feel like I need to bring some new things in because we will have empties very soon. So let me start with the first one here. Sorry if you heard some click clacking, my basket is right underneath my microphone. But the first item, and it's been here the longest, it was in here all last year, but this is my Ofra Chiclet blush. It is obviously repressed in my Makeup Geek packaging. You guys know how I roll, but let me show you what this blush looks like. Look at that. Like, I almost used this blush today, but then I was like, let me show you what it actually looked like at the end of May, just so you can see how impressive I've done on this. So I really focused in on this blush in May, and I plan to focus in on this blush again in June, which that is why I feel like I want to roll in the replacement for this, because this dang thing better be done. Better be done in June. But the last update on this blush, as I have a dog hair on my nose, which is my life, last update we were at 36.01, now we're at 35.73. I used this blush 15 times in May. So when I say I went hard on this blush. I used it 15 times for 0.26 grams of uses. So if I can use this blush probably the same amount of times, it might take me less, maybe 10 uses, this will be an empty, and I will have a powder blush empty for the year, and we will finally see Chiclet roll out of my collection. So let me go through the rest of my products, and then at the end I will kind of make that decision on whether or not we're rolling in the replacements right off the bat. But the next item that we have in is my highlighting palette, and so this is in the Tarte highlighting palette packaging. But if you guys have heard me talk about this, if you saw my repressing video from last year, I've always linked it in different videos along the way, but this is not the Tarte highlighting powders anymore. This is my own concoction and I love it, but I did repress that second shade there, which I told you guys that is what I was going to do because it had a humongous pan in it. So I brought it all to the center and repressed it. So this is what we are looking like. I always do have a graphic popping up showing you guys how many times I used the palette in May and how many uses I have year to date on each pan. Because obviously we have big pans in every single one of these highlighters here. But last month we were at 116.08. Now we're at 115.83. That means I used 0.25 grams of product. Now I will say in May, I used makeup 22 times. So I did my makeup 22 days out of the month. And so I wore this 22 times, but I may have reached into more than one shade at a time on this palette. But I love this. I put some on my, oh yeah, you can see it. I did highlight up my shoulders a little bit today since I have my shoulders out with this green top. So I am loving using this. I like how people were like, the past couple years when it was like clean girl makeup and all that stuff, people were like, oh, highlighters are out. I'm like, maybe for them, not for me. I still want to beam from the freaking sky. So I still love my highlighters. I am not ever giving them up. But this next item is actually one of the ones too that I might be rolling in a replacement for, and that is my Juvia's Place bronzer, and this is the more warm toned pan out of the light duo. Again, it's in one of my Makeup Geek compacts, but look at that thing. So I did repress this last month or the month before, and I knew once I repressed it, it was going to loosen up that powder a little bit. So we did end up with it going a little bit quicker, but look at that humongous pan on there. Absolutely love it. And today when I put my brush into here, it did kick up a lot of powder. So I feel like this will be done in the first 10 applications of makeup for June. But for last month, we were at 41.78. Now we're at 40.74. That means I used 22 times. I used this every single time I did my makeup for 1.04 grams. So that is a huge jump from my normal, like, 0.3 something, 0.4 is what I was using before I repressed it. So now that I've repressed it, now that it's loosened up a little bit, we are looking at using about a gram of product, so there can't be much left in here. So I do suspect that this bronzer will be an empty. Now, I don't know. I have my two bronzers. I only have two powder bronzers left in my collection. I have my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Bronzer, and I have my NARS Laguna. Now, NARS Laguna is more, it's deeper, and it's more warm toned, so it would be more suited for the summer, but I'm kind of feeling the chocolate bronzer, but by the end of this video, I'm going to need to know which one I want to roll in. So let my brain kind of percolate on that, and we will definitely come back and roll in a new bronzer because I'm going to have to start using a new bronzer because this thing is going to be done by the middle of June. Our next item is my lippy pencil in Brink. This is from ColourPop, and this is just slow, steady use. I use this every single time I do my makeup, so 22 times in May. I do have my little black mark there where it will be empty. And so we still have quite a ways to go. And this has been actually rolled in for longer than it usually takes me to get through a lippy pencil. Typically, I can get through one of these in about 7 months, but I think my 7-month mark was actually in April. So I still do have quite a few months left on this pencil here. I'm not complaining. I love the formula. I love the shade of this one, but it is curious. I don't know if it's a difference in my makeup use. It might be a difference in, I used to take my lippy pencils and color in my entire lip. And nowadays, since I've been using lip stains, I am just using this as a lip liner and then filling in the rest of my lips with a stain and then going in with another lip product. So as that lip product wears off, then I'm left with that stain, but still have a lip line going. So I think because I'm not coloring in my whole lip with this, that it's going a little bit slower. But again, I'm okay. My makeup usage is allowed to evolve, and even though my last like 2 or 3 lippy pencils I've gone through in 7 months, that doesn't mean that this one's going to be gone in 7 months. So I'm still Loving this one, loving the color. My graphic will have popped up and you guys will actually see me marking it in my book with how much I've been able to use. But last month on my lippy pencil, we were at 5.0. Now we're at 5.4. So that's 0.20 grams. Consistently, let me see. No, that's actually consistent. Last month, for some reason, I used 0.3, and maybe that's because I sharpened it an extra time that month, but consistently throughout the year, I have been using about zero point 0.2 grams. So actually, I am on par. Now let me go to my lipstick, which I am about to maybe either franken this or give up on this. And that is my Pat McGrath lipstick in Fembot. I love the color. I love the formula. It's the matte trans formula. So it's really smooth. It's really beautiful. It's really opaque. But I am just not reaching for a lipstick at all. So I'm kind of thinking about how, if you guys watched my Project 10 uses, you guys saw that I mixed that Romand product with my Burt's Bees lip balms and created kind of like a tinted lip balm for myself. I might end up doing that with this. And so if next update we see a big jump, because I couldn't even make a new mark on this, if we see a big jump, that's because I cut some off, melted it with my Burt's Bees, and remade some chapsticks for myself. And so I think that's what I'm going to end up doing to get through my lipsticks, because I love the formula on this so much. I don't want to just like franken this into a blush. I'd rather use it on my lips and get that beautiful pigmentation out of it. So I think that is what I might do. I just opened a brand new chapstick, so that would be a really good way for me to, again, like have a whole chapstick, have a part of my lipstick, and just see how far I can get on it. And oh, Jane was scratchy. My chin keeps itching like I have one of my hairs that keeps tickling me. So we'll see how that goes. But I was at 34.35 last month. I'm at 34.34, so 0.01 grams. That, I mean, I feel like that's one time that I wore that lipstick, and that's it. And if I'm only using 0.01 grams of product every use, it's going to take me an eternity to get that lipstick done. So I feel like the only way that I'm going to get through my lipsticks that I've been neglecting is through frankening, and that is okay, because that is what I like to do for my collection. You guys can do what you want to do for your collection. The next item that we have is my Say Super Glowy Gel, and this is in Star Glow. My husband just got home, so he is making himself a snack in the kitchen. So I shut my door because the dogs will end up making lots of noise begging for food. But let's see where we were at. Oh, my Say Super Glowy Gel in Star Glow. So this does have the bag inside the glass packaging with the product, so the bag just like deflates as you pump it out. So not a whole lot of visual progress, but of course I do weigh my products, and that is why. So again, I still love this. I mix this in with my foundation. I almost thought about using this as the glow on my shoulders today, but I wanted to use one of my actual highlighter palettes, and my lipstick has smeared. Let me wipe it on. So the illusion of filming is I have this beautiful top on, and then I have on pajama pants. So I'm going to wipe my lipstick off on my pajama pants because a girl don't care. So back to this. I love this. I almost used it on my shoulders. I did not. Wanted to use my powder highlights, but I do love mixing this in with my foundation because I have oily skin, so which bless it. So yesterday, my husband and I were out running around, and we stopped at Publix to pick up some lotto tickets because, good Lord, I mean, every once in a while we'll play the Powerball whenever it gets big, and like we have no intentions on being like, oh my God, we have to win, but like, why not? And also, whenever I first started college, I was on the Bright Future Scholarship, and so the Florida Lottery actually has a scholarship for people. So I feel like I'm just giving back with my lotto tickets. So we were getting lotto tickets, and I did not have any makeup on yesterday. And the lady selling tickets asked for my ID. And she goes, "Oh, we have to ID anybody who looks under 30." And I was like, "Ma'am, you just made my day." And so I feel like sometimes oily skin is a blessing because I think it does like help with not as many wrinkles because you just are constantly oily. But I was very happy with the person, the sales associate at Publix yesterday. She made me feel really good, even though my husband rolled his eyes like, she doesn't look under 30. And I'm like, you should be happy that people think that that I'm 30 and under. Thank you very much. But back to this. I don't feel like this accentuates any of my oiliness because sometimes more like oil-based illuminators can make me get dewy really quickly to where I'm needing to blot. But because this is a gel formula, it does not do that. So I love that about this product. But for our weights, we were at 145.33 last month. Now we're at 141.81. I used it 23 times for 3.52 grams of use. So a good usage of 3 grams on that. I do use 1 pump per makeup application of that product. So that means that 22 pumps out of that product would be my 3.52 grams. Now rolling on to my powder. And I don't know, I feel like I might be getting close to some sort of pan on this product, but we will have to see in June if I'm able to hit pan on this. But I do have my Kosas Cloud Set powder, and this is in candy, so this is the pink shade. And it doesn't really look that pink on camera because of the lights, but it looks pink in person. But let me see if I can hold this up so that you guys can see how far down that dip is on that side of the powder. So obviously I'm focusing my puff on this part of the powder. It'd be fun to hit pan like right in this corner down here. I know this has more of like a clay or terracotta tile that it's baked on, so I know what to expect whenever I get down there. But oh, my crack in the back hinge, because I give you an update on my crack every time. It has made its way all the way across, and so I wonder how much longer my lid will hang on. And just for reference, I stopped snapping this closed like after using it like 10 times. So it sits in my drawer, not snapped shut, because I'm worried that the snapping will make it crack faster. So this is just literally from me opening and closing it. The lid back there has already cracked open. But for my powder, last month we were at 75 even. Now we are at 74.11. I used it 22 times for 0.89 grams of product used. So I basically use this powder to set my under eye and to set kind of the triangle underneath. And that's how I have been using this powder, and I still love it. So no complaints on that. This next product, I feel like I have a hair that is tickling me. I feel like I was extremely ambitious with rolling this in, but this is my ColourPop Shadow Stick in So Celestial. It's just an antique bronze type of shade, and I remember using this month, but the weights don't really reflect that. So we were at 11.56 last month. Now we're at 11.55, so 0.01 grams. I don't know. I don't know how I don't know why I rolled this product in because we have that much. That's how much product we have. I'm not going to get through this year, but I am just curious to see how long or how much I can get used on this. I love using this as like a liner on the outer corner and like just kind of underneath, and then I kind of bring it and wing it out. I could have worn it on this look today, but I did not. But that's how I like using this, but not a whole lot of progress. Was I even able, I don't even think I was able to make a new line in my book. So that is where we're at with my liner. Let's roll into foundation, and I'm trying real hard to not shake this right now, but this is the Urban Decay Face Bond, and I'm trying not to shake it because we have a little window at the top, right up there, that little mark right there, that is a window in the product. So that makes me kind of hopeful that we will have some settling along the way, because I mean, it still feels pretty full, but I've been using this so far for the entire month. Do I only have the entire month on here? I maybe had a few uses in April on this, but for the most part, May has been the first full month that I have used this foundation. I have it in shade 2. I'm continuing to enjoy using that. It does hold up really well in the hot, humid climate that I live in Florida. Again, oily skin. I am 40. Even though the sweet lady at Publix said that I looked under 30, I am 40 years old. So I do have, cracks and crinkles and smile lines and all of that stuff that comes with having a happy life. So I don't see that it settles into things. Like, it does set down really well. It wears well. I'm not severely oily at the end of the day, and so I have been quite impressed with the Face Bond foundation. So I know a lot of people are doing like heat proof or summer proof makeup, and they have been mentioning this foundation, and I would agree. Between that one and the Estee Lauder Double Wear, those have both proven to be like heat proof, summer proof, and that's coming from somebody who, let's see, what is the current temperature? It is 84 and feels like 84. That means that our humidity is not that high today. Bless that. The other day it was like 86 and feels like 100. Like those types of days, I can leave those days behind. But it's 84 degrees outside, so we can deal with that. But again, it is getting hotter. It gets into the hundreds plus here in the summertime. So I will definitely be putting this foundation more and more to the test. But we started out with this rolling into the project at 46.8 grams. We're now at 43.74. I used it 21 times. There was one time in the month that I did not wear this foundation. So I used 3.06 grams of foundation, which is kind of on par. I will usually use about 3 to 3.5 grams of foundation per month. So that one is doing really, really well. And then our last item before we pick our roll-ins, I'm just cleaning this off because the packaging gets fingerprinty, but that is my Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer, and I do have this in 1C, which is a pretty good shade for me, especially like a brightening-ish shade, and I do have this on as my concealer today. And do I have something with a mirror? It is doing pretty well. A little bit of creasing, but everything will crease. Let me tell you that again. Everything will crease. If your face moves, you will have creasing, period. So, but it's not that bad. And so I have still been enjoying this. Like I said, I think my review last time was that this dries down extremely fast. So I can't put it all over my face and then blend it out. I do kind of do it in sections. But last month when we rolled the concealer in, we were at 46.38 grams. We're now at 46.23. I did use it 7 times because maybe a spoiler, I was finishing up my Natasha Denona concealer, and so this one did not get used the entire time. So June will be my first month of using just this product kind of on its own. But I did use 0.15 grams of this concealer in May. So more use on this one coming up. So that means I am looking at a roll-in for my bronzer and a roll-in for my blush. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go back in my drawers. I'm going to pull what I'm going to roll in because those suckers better be done by next update. All right, I got my replacement items and I have my scale in front of me because I'm going to put my weights into my spreadsheet right now. So this blush is in my 25 and 2025. I know I'm not going to finish this blush this year. I'm not delusional. Well, I am, but not that much. So this is my Hourglass Mood Exposure Blush. This is what we're looking like here. Let me actually tilt it. So it's so difficult because in my monitor, everything is reversed. And so like, I don't know which way I'm turning things because it's always backwards in my monitor. But I do have a nice flattened dome on this product, but still nowhere near pan anywhere on this blush. What I do love about this blush is that it is easy for me to not necessarily pack it on unnecessarily, but you can build this up. You can scrub your brush in there and get a more built up cool toned look. And so I do love this. And even though it is more cool toned and more mauve, I do feel like this gives a nice rosy look to the cheek, like a nice natural, especially because I am a cool toned skin person. This looks very natural on me. So this will be very easy for me to use. Let me see how much we are starting off our weights. We are starting at 46.80 for the blush. So we will see after I have finished my Chicklet blush, which we have very little to go. So we will see. I'm calling it. I am being confident. We will see this as an empty in June, and I will start using my Mood Exposure. And to replace the bronzer, which again, I'm calling it, I'm making the prediction, this will be an empty in June, and so I think I decided to go ahead and do my NARS Laguna. And again, mainly this is because it's a little bit darker of a shade, it's a little bit more warm toned, so for summer, this will be perfect. For me to take this down my neck to warm my chest up a little bit, this will be the perfect color compared to the more light cool toned of the milk chocolate bronzer. Now, if we get to the winter time and this one is just looking ridiculous on me, I might swap the two out for each other and then roll this one back in when we get to like May of 2026. But for right now, let's just see for the rest of the summer rolling into, this might be too much rolling into November. So by November, I will make a decision on whether or not I want to swap out. But between now and all the way through October, we will see how I can do with the NARS Laguna. This is brand new. It has never been touched. It has not been swatched, nothing. So we will get complete readings on these, but we're starting off at 75.95 grams on our bronzer. And then next update, I'll kind of let you guys know what I decide to do with this lipstick. Now, if I do start like cutting it up and stuff, I might roll this out and roll something else in because it's not going to be super interesting for you guys to like see these big jumps when I'm just mixing the product in. So I might just like put this in a category of a Frankened product that I will pull from, but I'll roll something else more interesting into this project. But that is where we're at with my project pan. I am super excited about starting on some new products, and I'm also excited about having a powder bronzer and a powder blush get used up next month and be done in my collection. So I am super, super stoked about that. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to go and, so again, I have a sports bra on under here. I'm wearing my pajamas. So after I take off my fancy top, after I put up my hair and I take off my big old dangly earrings, I am doing laundry and cleaning the house for the rest of the day with this beautiful, dark, smoky, warm toned look that I absolutely love today. But this is my look for cleaning the house. What do you guys think? Looking good? Yeah? Okay. But I'm going to go. So I'm going to encourage you guys to do all of the YouTube things. I'm going to encourage you to hit a thumbs up on this video. Let me know that you guys are enjoying my content. If you're new or you're lurking, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you, but it helps me out a lot. I do project panning, conscious consumerism, beauty budgets, some get ready with me's, the mentality of using what you have instead of buying all of the new. And then I also feature my puppy dogs from time to time, they will pop in. So if that seems interesting, hit that subscribe button and stick around. Otherwise, drop me your comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing. I love our conversations. I am still making my way through some comments. Again, with the change in schedule and with them kind of removing that extra day off that I had with a compressed schedule, it really has reduced the time that I have to do the things that I want to do. So I appreciate you guys letting me have grace with that always. So I'm gonna go. As Jane gets up, he's like, "Oh, Mama's signing off. I better get up. I better start making noise." But I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. I hope that you guys all have a beautiful day, and I'm going to catch you in my next one.